Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance, and today we're diving into one of the most misunderstood, yet most powerful, strategies in hero wars, Alliance. Not every battle is about bursting the enemy in 10 seconds. Not every victory comes from raw power. Sometimes, the smartest way to win is to let time itself fight for you. That's right, today we're entering the world of attrition warfare, the place where strategy beats spending, and where beginners and mid-power players can challenge opponents far above their level. Because in Hero Wars Alliance, there is a rule more powerful than any artifact, skin, or titan. If the battle reaches 2 minutes and your team is still alive, you win. And this rule is the foundation for two very different styles of defensive teams, timeout teams and dirty teams. Let's break them down in the Olympus way, clear, practical, and ready for you to use. When most players think about building a team, they think about power, about damage, about blowing up the enemy before they can even react. But defense works under a different logic. On defense, you don't need to kill. You only need to survive. And that creates a paradox. Sometimes the strongest defensive team is the one that doesn't try to win. It tries to outlive. This is where the first philosophy comes in, what experienced players call the timeout strategy. Timeout teams aren't built to destroy the enemy. They're built to frustrate them, to absorb punishment, to buy precious seconds, to create a battle that lasts long enough for the clock to become your strongest ally. And to do that, Guardians, you need synergy. You need healing that never stops. You need shields that chain into each other. You need control effects that constantly break the enemy's rhythm. Timeout teams are the definition of maximum investment. The more you build them, the more impossible they become to break. One example is the classic anti-meta wall, where Rufus becomes immortal against all magic damage thanks to Reikashi's oath, while Astaroth waits behind him with last word ready to resurrect anyone who falls. Add Hus spreading golden feathers, reversing damage into healing, and suddenly the enemy's biggest nukes feel like nothing. What was supposed to be a deadly assault turns into a 2-minute massage session. Then we have the attrition and punishment trap, a formation built to drain the attacker's patience 1 second at a time. Jiri burrows underground, disappearing for long stretches and burning the clock. Yorgan drains enemy energy, slowing the pace of the entire battlefield. And Satori quietly, passively, unbelievably, builds foxfire marks until his moment arrives. By the time the enemy realizes what's happening, they're already out of time. And of course, the dreaded magical control nightmare, where the enemy barely gets to play. Electra absorbs everything with her immortal shell. Tempest freezes the battlefield and manipulating tempo. Somna puts the enemy to sleep and into sheep and keeps them there with layer after layer of drowsiness. Nobody attacks, nobody casts, nobody moves. The timer ticks. And ticks. And ticks. Until the enemy fades into defeat. Timeout teams are fortresses. They require big builds, big stats, big investment, but in return, they create unbeatable walls that stop even the strongest whales. But Guardians. The second philosophy is the complete opposite. And it is brilliant. While timeout teams win through maximum power, dirty teams win through minimum power. These teams use heroes that are intentionally underdeveloped, weak on purpose. And I know that sounds strange, but trust me, it's one of the most effective strategies the community ever discovered. Dirty teams exist because some heroes have abilities that do not scale with stats. Their power comes from mechanics, not numbers. And when you leave them weak, they actually perform better in specific defensive situations. This strategy is simple. You invest as little as possible into a hero, no skins, no glyphs, sometimes not even artifact stars, because their job is not to survive or deal damage. Their job is to trigger a specific ability that disrupts the enemy team, confuses the battle, or creates a tempo crash. Take Dirty Jorgen for example. A low-powered Jorgen still steals energy. Still denies energy. Still gives shields to allies. But because he's weak, the enemy wastes time and damage on him, destroying their own attack sequencing. Or Dirty Dorian, who doesn't need stats to attach himself to a frontline and feed endless healing to heroes behind him. A weak Dorian dies at the perfect moment, making the enemy swing wildly out of rhythm, and remember, even after Dorian falls he still continues to heal. Or Dirty Chabba, whose swallow mechanic works a lot faster, if he has 5,000 armor instead of 30,000. By staying weak, he manipulates enemy attacks and creates massive disruption before disappearing, and the chaos he creates is more valuable than any stat build. Dirty teams are the equalizer of Hero Wars Alliance. They are the answer for players who don't have giant resources, but still want to fight back. Still want to outsmart stronger opponents. Still want to climb. Because where timeout teams say I will outlast you, dirty teams say I will outplay you. Both strategies exploit the same reality. Battles are won by mechanics, not just power. The strongest team doesn't always win. The smartest team does. And that's why understanding the power versus time paradox changes everything, whether you are a beginner trying to climb arena, a mid-game player trying to defend your Guild War citadel, or an experienced guardian building traps for spenders. Timeout teams survive. Dirty teams manipulate. And both, when built with intent, create opportunities for players of every level to compete with power far above their own. And that's what makes Hero Wars Alliance so special. Strategy can beat money, timing can beat stats, and decisions can beat enemies who look unbeatable. Guardians, if this guide helped you understand the deeper strategy behind defensive teams, hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Tell me your favorite timeout formation, or which dirty hero you use to surprise your opponents. Your support is what allows us to keep building daily content, keep testing, keep analyzing, and keep empowering the entire Olympus community. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.